Hello, welcome to this Slow to Learn training video. Microsoft has completely changed how Microsoft Word works from version 2007 onwards. The first big change is that instead of the old menus, now there is a ribbon, which is this area at the top of the screen. And that has its advantages and its disadvantages. The biggest advantage, and that's the one that Microsoft is touting as the most important, is that you can see more things at once. Before, people had to go through the menus and it took them a while to find the things they were looking for. So that is definitely an advantage, but a disadvantage is, for instance, that it takes up a bit more screen space, and if you have a small screen, that can be significant. And also, some of these things disappear. So for example, the font type, if you're in a different tab, disappears, so you can no longer see it. You have to go back to home to see what font you're using. So that's another disadvantage. Now, there are a number of little tricks that you can use to get around the disadvantages. The first thing you can do is to minimize the ribbon so that it doesn't take up so much screen space. And you do that simply by double-clicking here in this title of a tab that you're in. And then you simply, when you need to go to any of those tabs, you simply click on them. And then you see what's in them, but once you click back into your text, the tab disappears. If you want to go back to having the tabs always open, simply double click on one of them and it will then remain where it is. Once you have minimized your ribbon, then of course many of these options will be a bit more difficult to get to because it will take 2 clicks sometimes instead of 1. But luckily you can use this quick access area here at the top by adding things from any of the ribbons there. And you can just simply do it by right-clicking on the icon and choosing the option Add to Quick Access Bar. Here, this one I have already added, but let's say I want to have my subscript option to the Quick Access Bar, so I click on it and there it is. And if I want to remove it, I simply right-click on it again and remove it, and it's gone. Another new feature of the ribbon is that you can quickly get to any of its features using keyboard shortcuts. First, you have to hold the Alt key, and these numbers and letters appear over many of the options here, and simply all you have to do is just type that number. So let's say if I want to save the document, I type 1 and that's done the save. I hold down Alt again and I want to go to the Mailings tab instead. I push M and I'm back in the Mailings tab. So that is a useful thing. But Microsoft even included some of the old shortcuts. So if you remember some old shortcuts, they will still work. For example, I often like to insert symbols into my documents, and I remember that it used to be Alt-IS, so I type in Alt-IS, and here's my symbol insert dialog. So that's very useful. Another new feature of the ribbon that people often don't realize is that sometimes new tabs pop up here at the top depending on the context. So for example, if I insert a table, which I have put up here on top for the quick access, all of a sudden 2 new tabs appear here in the right hand side, one for design and for layouts. So that is where all the table features are hidden now, and I can do lots of things with tables here. Another change is that the old dialog boxes that you may remember from choosing font options or paragraph options are not that easy to get to. On the ribbon, there are these, at the bottom of some sections, there are these little barely visible buttons that you can click on to open the old dialog boxes. So for instance, I click on here and that opens the paragraph options. I click on here, that opens the styles options. I click on here and it opens the font options. Luckily, I can add them to the quick access bar. So if I right click here, I can simply add that here, and then every time I click here it will bring me the old dialog box. But it takes a bit of getting used to, and sometimes it's difficult to figure out exactly where some options are. And finally, Microsoft has completely changed the styles interface, and mostly I think for the better. So the styles are now, instead of in a font-like drop-down, it is in its own drop-down menu. So if I click on here and I see all the styles, I see what the formatting looks like. And as I browse through them, I can see that the formatting actually looks like when I apply it to the paragraph I want to apply style to. And that's good. I can also right-click on a style and either update it to match it to the selection, or click Get Modify, or even remove it from this quick style gallery here. And again, that's a useful option. The only downside is that I don't see very easily what style the particular paragraph is in unless it's one of these top 3 that fits in here. So I have to go here and have a look which one it is, or I can also click on here on this in the styles menu, and then here as I go through I can always see which style this paragraph is in. There's another change in Word 2007, and that is what happened to the old File menu and also what happened to the old Options interface. They all now live under this button, which is called the Office button, the top left corner. I click on it, and here if I want to change options, which used to be under the Tools menu, it now lives here under this Word Options button. So I click on that, and I can see that the options window also looks very different. I can set some basic ones here, but most of the time I will want to go to the advanced options. There's this long list where there used to be tabs. Also, the customize window has changed a bit, but that still works mostly the same. The add-ins options have become very difficult to find, but again, most people probably don't know how to use them or don't use them all that much. But again, this is a big change in Word 2007. Thank you for watching this video. There are more videos on how to create structured documents in other word processor, as well as other tech tips for people with and without print disabilities.